Ladies and gentlemen, grand final time. HWC North American Online Qualifier #1. Benson joined by the wonderful Golden Boy.
Just broke my chair again. Sorry, guys.
The fourth time today, the chair is broken. Do not fear, though, because actually, yeah, we have run out of chairs now, apart from the one I'm sat on. So you are banished from the studio forever. Grand final about to get underway. Let's take a look one more time at our players to watch. I'll be very sad, and that's all that matters. Heinz and Lunchbox, we've highlighted those two as players that we need to keep our eyes out for on this grand final. Speaking of the grand final, it is underway. Map numero uno has just begun. The Rig Strongholds. What a map.
What a map. So, you know, again, Strongholds, we can either see some incredible comebacks or just some straight up sweeps, right? We almost were witness to that before. But here we go, folks. It is time for the game to start up here, the grand finals, EnVyUs. And already Mikwin with a great run here to get an angle and see if he can support his teammates who are trying to push forward toward Nest.
He's going to call out one play, that's Lunchbox pushing Nest. Of course, remember, he has Scattershot at his disposal, so if he chooses to drop down and try and go for that cap on BR base, he could, but I'd be very surprised to see him push through. Obviously, Basement Nest, the preferred setup on this map. Mikwin with the headshot, can he find the second? Basement will be taken away from him. And again, remember, Scattershot in the back pocket.
Beautiful.
Picks up one. That's going to be Lunchbox. However, enemy will be spawning very close to him. That's going to be lethal that he's in a gunfight with. Mikwin decides, hey, don't want any of this. But whilst all this is going on, his teammates making a push for Nest. They do have that 2-to-1 stronghold control. Shots from behind, and someone needs to address the fact that Mikwin is causing all these problems.
Well, you know, this is, again, this is kind of just like Mikwin 101 here. He just knows how to bother the crap out of you. And one of the reasons why I always enjoy watching him play.
He's a nuisance.
Yeah, he's being a big pain in the neck here, and Lethal just has to get the stop, and that scatter shot is just so deadly. But he could get challenged any second now, so he has to be very mindful of that. I think there is going to be a player above him as well. Yes, there is, right by Junction. And another one pushing up in front. Another connection for him. Mikwin holding it down.
So close.
Just not enough for them to be able to secure that basement just yet.
PG did pick up that kill, though.
Let's actually go over to Pistola, see what's up with him.
Okay, see Zola. He checks over towards Nest. There's going to be 3 players there. He's done well to actually get out with his life. Managed to tag up a couple of people, but no kills went down because of that. A couple of shields popped, however. He's looking to see if he can find Lunchbox, and that will be that crisp shot. 17-10, the score in favor of Team EnVyUs.
4 down, as a matter of fact, for Envy.
This could be time for Evil Geniuses to get that preferred setup. There's Basement and Nest under the control. Now, this is where you're going to see Lethal just kind of patrol, stay on this catwalk side. Has to anticipate Envy to come for that flank. There's going to be 2 players trying to do just that. And Lethal in a fantastic position with a fantastic couple of shots as well to support his teammates.
Mikwin just finds those positions that will catch you off guard. And that outskirt was good. He got the call to make the jump and then push in with his teammate. Unfortunately for him, they did not anticipate Lethal coming around the corner the way they did. Heinz does pick up that camo, though, around the 133 mark, I want to say. Let's actually go over to... Oh, Heinz ends up being dropped there, so back over to Mikwin, who has a railgun, as a matter of fact. Looking to cause some problems here. He is able to connect with one. That's going to be a Lunchbox who falls victim to that. 3 players pushing up. And now they want to start thinking about the basement, right? That's pretty much what it boils down to here. They had 3 players stacked up on this side. It's your basement push. You have railgun. You have an opportunity to just get those quick kills and cause problems, but you have to block that carbine spawn. And I'm hoping that someone puts a body there, because then you're going to be expecting spawns to come.
Oh, wow. Mikwin. He is going ham with that railgun right now. I'm not sure if he actually team shot there.
He didn't. He
got a little bit lucky. I was going to say, it's going to be very tough trying to break into basement if you don't have control of Scattershot, because it is such a lethal weapon up close and personal. But Mikwin with the railgun going.
Look at this angle. Look at this angle that he has. He has 5 shots with the scatter now. If anyone tries to push up, he can find him immediately, but he has to be careful about the player that's going to be above him, and he is able to get that kill, and he will have a teammate there for assistance. So Mikwin just looking for those spots that will just aid his teammates, but they want to go after that railgun again.
Are you surprised? You saw what he did with it the first time. It's definitely lethal in his hands. As the score 28-38 in favor of Evil Geniuses for now. However, of course, Team EnVy do have a 2-to-1 stronghold advantage as Pistola tries to put the moves on, but unfortunately couldn't. APG won't pick up the kill. Basement being taken as well for Evil Geniuses. As APG tries to track back, it would be pretty impressive. There's 3 players from Evil Geniuses alive. He was able to do this single-handedly. Does need a little bit of help, and speaking of help, it's going to be Mikwin providing that as APG picks up 1 in basement, back under EnVyUs control.
So they get that one, so they're going to hold on to get accrue a couple points here, but it's all going to come down to watching basement. And look at that push, right? Push from tower side, gets that camo, so Heinz with the camo is looking to at the very least cause some problems, but not enough. He picked up that camo around the 7:30 mark, so we'll be eyes on that run around 5:30 and see what comes up of that. But jumping around to some of these players here, they have to be careful not to lose Nest. This is the big one. They need to continue to maintain control of Nest, but I don't like the way that this is looking here. They are losing it. You see that meter just slowly making its way forward, and it has turned red, which means EG has control of this one, but a very close matchup here, Benson, 50-41.
Yeah, Snipedown was pointing out some pretty key shots with that railgun, and that's exactly what Mikwin's going to pick up. There's not that much left in it, though, but it could be just enough to help him secure Nest if he wants to go for it. Just taking his time. Decides to throw that grenade. He has what? 1 charge left in it, fires it, misses it, can reload. That's the final one. Snipe down beneath him. Nest still has yet to be reset. Bear that in mind. And EnVy doing a fantastic job of just keeping them off it. But unfortunately, no one on EnVy able to jump on it just yet. Shots going down from Mikwin. The assist comes in from APG. It's still ready. Hasn't been reset. It finally has. EG with that 2-to-1 Stronghold combination. And it looks like Mikwin may actually be a little bit worried about BR base. I'd be very surprised to see anyone from EG overextend towards BR yet. I'd like to see them push a couple of times over towards Nest.
Well, you know, they do have that advantage of spawning over by Carbine and Junction side, so they're okay, right? EG, you know, they'll pick and choose their battles as they see fit. But when you have Pistola picking off doubles the way that he's been doing here, that is a good look without a doubt for them. But Roy manages to pick up 2, so go ahead and jump over to him right now. And as a matter of fact, looking at looking at Lethal, he has 19 kills. I want to go over to TJ here.
Is he better than APG right now? Bring him those stats. Let's have a look.
Theoretically, based on kills, yes, he will be better than APG.
That's important, man. If you're gonna have a game attack like that, you gotta.
I just want to highlight the fact that Lethal spent money to make this his gamer tag. He spent hard-earned American dollars to make this his. But you know what? That's the extent that you go for the troll.
Oh, absolutely. If you're gonna troll, go for it, man. Don't go half-hearted. Go all in. Exactly that. As unfortunately Lethal will fall, and that's going to open up Nest as well. Potentially Team EnVyUs could reduce this deficit with the cap on Nest.
That does not look like that's going to be the case, Ben. Heinz, they're trying to look for
2-to-1.
They're trying to look for an opening there, right? They do have 2 spots open, but Nest, it just becomes a lot harder to hold Nest from BR side. You need to have perfect coordination, and hopefully things like that where players just end up trading so you can reset it.
Yeah, you want to see them push through ideally right now, and that seems to be what EnVy are doing when you just kind of look. But unfortunately, they can't do so unless they control Nest. Beautiful nade from Heinz. Can he now find the second? This could be the start of that push towards basement. Heinz with a nice double stays alive as well. 80-61 the score in favor of Evil Geniuses. And this is that push exactly onto basement. They lose Nest, and this is going to be crucial. Mikwin not able to get it, and it will be reset as well.
Both players fall at the worst possible time. Over to Heinz, who's the last person left alive here. And that railgun coming up. So we saw what Mikwin was able to do with that railgun before, but unfortunately for Heinz, he was not able to stay alive long enough. It does pop up in 1 second. Who's going to be there for the pickup? They do have that BR spawn, which means that Heinz could go for it if he wants to. But their focus right now is just stopping this, right? You know, it's all well and good to go after the railgun, but you need to be able to just get a body on the Stronghold and just flip it as soon as you possibly can. You have 2 members down right now. This is where they need to make this happen.
Yeah, this is going to be the push. Otherwise, this game is going to spiral out of control. 95-53. You could argue it has already spiraled out of control. Heinz in no man's land currently. He should fall. Does so.
Distracting.
They need a trip cap. They need a trip cap right now. And I believe that is exactly what they're going to get as well. They could reduce this deficit enough. This is going to be so difficult to try and hold. You see players on BR base for Evil Geniuses. Heinz needs to win this gunfight on Roy. Oh no.
That's unfortunate.
Disastrous. But worst case scenario, it's still 2-to-1. Admittedly, Evil Genius is so very close to winning this game. They only need 3 more points. Where is that final cap going to come from? They have the preferred setup as well. They have Nest of basement.
Yeah, no, I think EG has this one in the bag. They have netted the capture on Nest as well as basement. They're going to accrue 2 points now, and that will do it. GG. EG will get that first victory. Envy, though, that was definitely a valiant effort. It was a tall order. I wonder if they were focusing more on the trip cap than they were on maintaining control of Nest and basement. I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case, but I do think that that was a very smart play for the time, right? It made sense. Hey, we have this trip cap. The worst that could happen is that they spawn inside of BR and they capture that one, and we still keep getting 1 point. Again, a very great game, and in that matchup, Lethal was indeed better than APG with 25 kills for Lethal, I feel like 18 for APG.
You almost have to be, right? Because if you're not, you feel like an idiot, and you look like an idiot. Better than APG, less score underneath.
Yeah, well, if there's one person who doesn't mind looking like that, it's Lethal. So it's all good. It's all good for him.
I was saying, pressure's on whenever you're playing against APG, man.
It's very true. It's very true.
You look like a fool, man. Look like a fool.
Well, guys, we're going to get into Game 2 in a second here. It should be, I'm trying to get the, actually, we could take a look at the series layout, as a matter of fact. Truth Slayer will be the next one. So,
good job, Will.
If EG win these next two, obviously, as you could tell there, this is a best of 5, so simple mathematics will tell you they will come out with that win and 5,000 points per person.
Your math has got a little bit better. You know that, right?
Well, I mean, it's pretty easy when you're just doing, the simple numbers. When you're doing anything else, it's hard. It's not easy.
Coliseum Slayer to end it out if it goes the distance. Do you see it going the distance or no?
I could see it going the distance, but if I'm looking here, Truth Slayer, that could go either way. Truth Slayer can go either way. Is it Lunchbox? We have Spectate open for him? Okay, I guess we do. Truth Slayer, I could see EG taking it, but I wouldn't be shocked if Envy did. Empire CTF, I think. I personally believe that EG would pick off that one. For Breakout, I would probably side with EG there, so I don't think we're going to be going to a game.
You don't think we can go that far?
We're going to a Game 5.
Well, EG already looking strong and in control of the series after they pick up map number 1. Now the question, Truth Slayer, can they go 2-0 up and in the lead? I'm expecting them to. I think that Team Slayer today has been very, very impressive. I'd be surprised to see them drop this one. However, taking nothing away from Team EnVyUs, who have also looked extremely good.
Both, again, you're at the finals, right?
Exactly,
like
right?
Both teams have been solid all throughout. It's going to come down to this BR control as well, because Mikwin, he has a great shot, especially in that long range, right? The only power weapon you really have to deal with up top will be the sword, or excuse me, Plasma Caster. I don't know why I thought it was a sword, but Plasma Caster. And, I think, to be completely honest with you, that's not really going to play much of a factor. It's going to come down more so to, the shots, right? The pistol shot, the BR shot. How can you survive in situations like that? Envy, though, has been doing a pretty good job so far.
Just passively played in blue base, in part from Mikwin. Picked up that BR and just played very, very slow, really forced EG to run to them, and they were able to get more efficient trades. They have that lead now, 3-kill lead, 7-4. It's very fragile, so
right next to each other.
Blink of an eye, new combo much.
Yeah, oh no, he does get it. He does get it, but not able to stay alive long enough.
I was worried for Mikwin. I was about to tell him to shut those windows. It was getting a little windy in his house.
Yeah, he was. That was a good one. I've never heard that one before.
That's a Benson special.
Yeah, you're putting it out there. You're putting it out there.
You gotta try hard.
But yeah, I think, overall, the way that this has been working out so far for Envy, Mikwin's been involved in so many different battles. A good trade there for APG as well. If you want to, get a life, you got to make sure it's worth something, right?
You got to take one at least. Every time you spawn, you got to
exactly. You got to, if you're going to do something, at the very least, do it like that. But I'm going to Mikwin again because, he's right now, he has 3 assists, he has 5 kills, but he's just been involved in almost every battle, right? It feels like he's just always putting a shot forward on the enemy. And that's frustrating if you're EG, because how do you stop that, right? How do you shut down a player like that when he's just pretty much being a pain in the neck.
Right, and he's getting rolling a little bit. You can see just by watching his playstyle, he's getting a little bit of momentum, like challenging that last gunfight. Ultimately, he lost it, but you can see the confidence that he's playing with, and that's the important thing. Playing with confidence. You talk a lot about players sometimes with delusional confidence, when they just feel so confident they'll, just challenge everything. And sometimes, yes, it's a bad thing. Sometimes it's a good thing. APG though does have camo, and I believe pushing through. He was spotted, but has managed to escape with his life. And sneaks up behind APG. APG hits him with the movement. The assist comes in with help from Heinz.
All right, and looking to just do as much as he can with this camo. There was a call out made, so they know APG is below them because of the appearance on the radar. But they can't really do much about it. APG does have a little bit left on that camo though, so he needs to make a play. Does manage to find one. It is going to be running out, and that will do it. But still, Envy, man, they're looking solid. I am pleasantly surprised. Take a look at the scoreboard here. I want to find a member from EG to follow. I'm going to go over to Lunchbox because he was one of the players to watch there, a shot caller for this team. And if he didn't call out that there was one in front, which was APG, well, at that point, you cannot do any job. But I'm sure that's exactly what he did because he's Lunchbox, and that's why he is who he is. Needless to say, though, Roy and the crew, they have not really got their footing, right? And I think that's due in part just because of great map awareness from Envy.
It's the consistent pressure as well. Like, for example, Mikwin there, trying to push forward, trying to apply the pressure to Evil Geniuses, and it's almost as if they're trying to make EG play off the back foot. And I feel that's what you need to do when you go up against EG. Play the game at your own pace, and that's exactly what Team EnVyUs is doing, and they're doing it very, very effectively. Mikwin with the BR has been causing problems all game long. That's his 9th kill, and as well as you mentioned, his engagement in kills was early game at least huge. 5 assists as well to his name on board with the man himself, Mikwin. As APG just turns around and says, "Hey, Lunchbox, how you doing?"
But look at that too, right? They have a stack on P Tower. And because of that, right, you're able to bait and switch it. Mikwin was in a really bad spot. Had he been by himself, he would have been dead, which means he would have lost control of that battle rifle he had, as well as the storm rifle. Those are the little things you have to be cautious about. Here comes the camo again. I'm not sure if it was picked up. It was a trade, so that would be around, what, 7:30, we would say? So let's see if that comes into play around the 5-minute mark here. But over to APG, because I have been wanting to follow him. I mean, he has, look at this, 10 kills, 9 assists right now. Like, that is just... He is playing like the APG that everyone always wants to see, because this guy, when he goes on a run, it is scary. Very scary.
I'm scared watching, man. That's a double kill, killing spree. He got the assist as well that kept him alive, and just the knowledge he knows exactly where they're going to be spawning. Immediately puts down some shots. 35-21, and Team EnVyUs are running away with this layer. This doesn't even look close. Snipedown was able to pick up 2 in that kill feed. Lethal will be challenging APG. Who's better?
Ooh, Lethal was better on that day. He is not having the greatest of games, though. He has 5 kills, 10 deaths. But, they could very easily bring this one right back. EG has done it before. I said it at the start of the broadcast, said it in the middle of the broadcast, say it at the end. You think you have a comfy lead against Evil Geniuses, and then they just manage to find a way to come right back into the game. And before you even realize it, they are that kind of team that are capable of doing that.
Just now,
no
the question,
to work with, though.
Can Team EnVyUs close this one out? I feel like the destiny is in their own hands. As cheesy as it is to say, I expect to see the game pace slow down pretty drastically, though, as 37-30. Everyone's just going to slow down pretty heavily. And yeah, you can just see, like, immediately. When
you have the scoreboard, or the kill feed, excuse me, line up with 3 members of your team, or 3 of your teammates just dead. At that point, you're like, let's just calm it down. Yep. Let's slow it down for a moment and just pick our battles. We only need 13 more kills, and that's it, right? But the thing about EG, again, they'll just pick up 2 in a row. You get 1, they're getting 2. That's the thing that Envy cannot let happen, because if that pace continues, they will catch up.
Down 7. Down to 6 now. And of course, Envy just needs 10 kills. This is going to be a very close ending. APG able to pick up 1 with the nade. It's going to be pretty weak. Still challenging.
I think Heinz ended up picking up that camo there. I'm going to go over to him real quick. Yes, he did get the camo.
No, he's going to fall. He was so close to getting around that corner. 42-37.
5-kill game.
It's definitely not over by any means at all.
And APG is surrounded, so this is a dangerous spot for him to be, and he's getting just shot up from all different kinds of guns, battle rifles, carbines, pistols, everything. Nade sent his way, and yet
the fact he got so many shots off was actually impressive.
But look, down by 3 now, Ben. That's the thing you have to be very cautious about with him. Down by 3, EG could very well come back into this one. McWindow, he has been such a difference maker in this matchup at the start of the game, but Roy finds himself, luckily for him, his teammate Hines is there for the pickup. And I'm trying to see what...
Slowly coming back into this game, down by 2. 44-42, considering they were down by +10 at one point during this game. EG showing their true colors right now in this comeback. Plenty of time left, of course, as well, so it's not even as if EnVy can say, hey, let's try and bleed out the clock a little bit. That's just not going to be the case.
Yeah.
And EG really putting on a fantastic performance.
Keep in mind, too, if it continues like this, I don't think the next camo will play much of a role. It could, especially if EG does manage to come back into this.
Oh, the assist from Roy, 45-46. It's about to be a tied game.
Oh,
and
man.
Another big kill. It's tied, 46-46. I cannot believe EnVyUs have come back into this game in the fashion that they have.
Camo could play a role here. It's going to be up in about, I would say, 10 seconds. But they do have the lead. And again, this is the thing about EG, man. You think you're comfortable.
EnVy's about to go on fulltiltpoker.com if they're not careful. 49-48.
Last kill's going to be Hines, all the way in the back by the bubble.
Oh,
EG.
they get him. EG, what a comeback.
I'm telling you.
Are you serious?
I'm telling you. It's just, I've been commentating this team for a long time, and I've seen this happen so many times in the past. They had that game won. It was
legitimately theirs to lose.
But EG, when you're getting 1 kill and you're going for a trade, they're taking 2. And they just keep doing that. They keep doing that. And it's like, it gets to a point where they're just all talking to each other. They're not yelling. They're not shouting out call-outs. I mean, maybe there's a little bit of hype there. But everything makes sense. Everything, you hear everything. And because I've heard these guys scrim and even heard them play in tournaments. It's just how EG is. It's very impressive. It's very impressive. But yeah, I mean, they're going to take game number 2, and this could very well be it. We're going to be going to Empire capture the flag.
Yeah, that's going to be game 3. But I feel like you have to look at momentum as a big part in this grand final now. EG, relatively close Strongholds. It went back and forth. I think that's fair to say before EG kind of pulled away towards the very end. The fact that EnVy had such a big lead in that one and threw it away.
Yeah,
their heads are going to be down for sure.
And I don't think this is the kind of team for a loss like that. Probably right. Like
that's extreme. You're up plus 10 kills in a Slayer game and you throw it away like that.
Yeah,
you can't say.
But it wasn't even.
It was
throwing it was just how EG approaches it, right? Because honestly, from the start, you could clearly tell that EnVy, they were doing a lot of things right. McWin, he pretty much had a hand in almost every single battle. APG was on a tear. Like, these players were playing incredibly, right? You had Hines in a brilliant support role, just, again, doing more work in that assist category, continuing to be effective. I mean, while Pistola was struggling as well, we did note that midway through the game, that didn't play much of a role. But what did was, when you allow EG to get those doubles, when
it's a mental thing as well, right?
Work together, yeah. When you play that bait and switch,
you see that lead that you had slowly every couple of 20 seconds or so. It's been removed by 1, and another 1 goes down. Next thing you know, it's a 2-kill game, and you're like, oh god, what's happening? And EnVyUs is taking nothing away from them. That was phenomenal.
And you notice too, as soon as it got that lead, it didn't stop. Their play style, everything that they did not stop. I actually thought that last camo would have played a role, and then I realized, oh, well.
Game's over before it even.
Yeah, actually, the game's, they're going to keep playing this way, right? The way that they got them to this point, because they don't shift it for anyone.
They don't fix it.
Yeah, that's just how they operate, and I think this next matchup is going to be up right now. It is going to be CTF on Empire, and if EG wins this, they will walk away the Qualifier 1 champions $1,000 richer, and most importantly, 5,000 points per player.
It's 20,000.
That's a lot of points there for you to have.
It's very tough not to qualify at that point.
Yes, I would argue.
You get a top 32 placement, you get a top 16 placement, and you're good.
Yep. Again,
mathematically, very tough for you not to qualify. I would be impressed. I challenge you, EnVyUs. Win this 3-0 and then don't qualify.
Imagine that would just,
Yeah, I would feel so bad if
that would be
actually
too
happened.
much. Oh, and already a
OS.
start there. OS gets burned immediately, so expect to see that one to pop up at around in like what I think 54 mark. I think that was. Could be wrong. But in any case, over to Roy, a big player in that last matchup, identifying APG right in front of him. Goes in for that Spartan charge. Just wasn't enough. As the APG does manage, or excuse me, that was APG who ended up getting the kill on that one. But over to Lethal, not to confuse you guys. This is Lethal if you're just joining us here. EG is going to be up 2-0 in the first ever Halo World Championship North American qualifier. We have the German qualifier take place on Saturday and the UK qualifier take place. It was pretty awesome to watch them all. All the games were great. Some great commentators and overall good games. It's going to be a fun road to the World Championships without a doubt.
For sure. Looking at this game, one thing EnVy have done really well at CTF today has been those quick breaks and those super fast flag caps. Not able to do it against Evil Geniuses. EG somewhat knew exactly what the game plan was, and you saw immediate shotgun control, that big contest, of course, overkill as expected, immediately burnt. Of course, that's all too common, but controlling that shotgun was so big, it put a massive stop to any fast flag cap that you're expecting to see. And again, have to question morale for Team EnVyUs. Where are they currently at as Roy just gives Zola a shotgun shell to the face? Can he find me?
And look at that run right through the middle. Just great support because those players were actually going to be outside. Because Roy was able to pick off one with the shotgun and then got that other kill inside. I mean, that pretty much gave him a clear lane for them to go ahead and capture that flag. Putting on the board 1-0, first 3, folks. Remember that.
Beautiful CTF so far from EG. And spawn manipulation at its finest as Lunchbox picks up Midwin and pulls out the pistol. Oh, sorry, that's going to be Lethal with the perfect. Sorry. And
the Perful.
The Perful.
The Perful.
That's going to be the name. 3 players down, though, for Team EnVyUs. EG look as if they're going to go for another flagpole. Lunchbox had it, but unfortunately just could not get away.
Yeah, and again, you know, this is the thing, right? You look here at Roy, you see what they're doing. They're always around there. Even though the flag has been returned, there were bodies on the flag, and it was good enough for EnVy to be able to make that stop. So let's actually go ahead and switch over to them. Speaking of EnVy, we're going to look at McWin. Storm rifle in hand, looking to just drain those shields and make his way forward to the red base. He did get a call out that a player was going to be over by the sneaky, and does identify Roy, so that means that they are just going to be consistent on this left side. I think the flag, their flag actually is away, and that was going to be, I would argue, yeah, that's going to be Roy. So let's see what's going on with him. He had that flag out for a brief moment. Right, or snipe down.
Back up. Has been picked up. Needs to win this gunfight towards Turbine. Not able to do so.
Yeah, they're gonna have to just make that return happen. They should be able to shut down that kill.
That should be a. Maybe not actually. Maybe not. Still lots of grenades going on, and
the fact that that flag is still been out, like you know, just shows how much pressure they've been applying on that one.
Meanwhile, Roy just more than happy to wrap back to make sure nobody can go for a counter pull. And just keep on throwing out those grenades. The fight is still alive. I can't believe it. And Roy jumps inside. Will he be able to get it? He's so weak. Just dash forward. There it is. 2-0 in favor of EG.
You know, I'm pretty shocked with how that flag run happened. So if you look at their first 2 flag runs, one straight through the middle when they had a setup. This one was a little bit more of a grind. Brought it outside and just kept hammering away. When one guy fell down, there was another one there to make the replacement. And it was the same thing for EnVy. But as that flag gets farther away from their base, that means it's a farther run for them to have, a little bit of a Spartan charge exchange there.
OS is going to be up as well in 5 seconds. I believe Snipe Down is pretty close to that one. Shotgun's going to come out. Beautiful time to grab that shotgun. Lunchbox with 2. And Roy grabs OS. And honestly, this could be the start of the final push from online qualifier number 1. If Evil Geniuses can... That's such a lethal combo when you think about it. OS and the shotgun.
Yeah, but that OS is pretty much drained at this point. Now it's all going to come down to good old-fashioned gunplay. But they are going to be spawning out by the SMG spawn. So... this is interesting because who from EG has it? It's going to be Lunchbox, and when Lunchbox has a flag, chances are he's getting that over to his teammate's base. Lethal's going to be there for the pickup, and let's see if he does manage to make it happen. No, there's going to be a member on the point, and it is going to be a return there despite Snipe Down getting there right at the nick of time. It was not enough, so they're able to hold it off for the time being, but Lunchbox pretty much brought that one straight across. Had he gotten it on that ledge, Lethal would have been there for the pickup, and that would have been GG. We'd be wrapping up the show at this point.
It was so close. Lethal now on your screens, trying to control outside.
You see where they're spawning at too, right? That's just, you know, there's just the progress that they have to make forward to the middle while EG just continues to hold down the outside. It's a tough one to fight from.
Still plenty of time in this game. Over 6 minutes to play. So Team EnVyUs just need one flag to get themselves a little bit of momentum. Both flags currently on base. But it looks as if Snipedown can pick up this kill or even the assist, he may try and go for a pull outside. Teammate needs to pick up a couple of kills though.
His teammates, he got the call from his teammates to take it out that way because they knew that they were going to be spawning inside. They get that kill. If he could pick up just one more here, that's an effective run. But he has to just, there you go, juggle that one forward. This could very well be GG.
Oh, so close.
And look right there, you have Roy, who's going to be in a position to make it happen, as well as Lunchbox, and that will do it, folks. Game over. EG goes up 3-0, not only in this game, but 3-0 in the series versus CLG.
That is...
Or Envy. I'm so used to saying CLG. Sorry, boys. It's a force of habit when you're
dominant performance.
Casting Halo.
That is a huge amount of kills from Lunchbox. 18 kills right there. 2 flag caps as well to his name. Admittedly, he just kind of got an easy one towards the end. Mikwin with a good performance, 20 kills as well. But EG just showing us why they are the dominant force. Congratulations to them. They walk away from this evening with 5,000 points per player and $1,000 as well. Pretty good evening of work for them.
Yeah, you know, EG, you know, they showed up to the office. They put in their hours. This is the kind of squad that, you know, I don't think anyone was really all that surprised, but I would say that right now, the current state of Halo, I think we're pretty much in the same position of what we were before with HCS Season 2, with EG being super dominant. But I will say that there are more threats at the top than there were during the previous HCS seasons. Because it's online competition, anything can happen. Keep that in mind. I think that, you know, this was a great experience for Envy. To just be able to be like, all right, well, clearly we know where like we screwed up, and they'll go back and they'll watch and they'll learn and they'll read. And even for teams like Liquid, who, you know, Liquid previously at the PGL tournament did defeat EG in the finals, right? You know, granted, much different time as the game has kind of like progressed very quickly in a very short amount of time, and EG has certainly adapted quite well. Their thing is just really, it's a grindy place out. They just beat the crap out of you until you give up. That's really just how EG does it. But Envy, as we saw in that Slayer Truth game, they could do the same thing as well. This Envy squad, they are a force. And I would not be shocked if this Envy team did manage to pick up one of these qualifiers. But regardless of the fact, though, lots of points gained, which means the first step for these top 8 teams is very bright. Yeah, very bright indeed. Once again, massive congratulations to Evil Geniuses walking away with today's first place prize, 5,000 points and $1,000. That's going to conclude all the action from the online qualifier number 1. But you can join us again on January 3rd for the second qualifier. See you guys then.